what is the right way to approach the world around us? I remember quite a few times watching this show on television. It's about really super successful high-end executives sitting in there. It looks like a throne room. And people would come in and they don't quite bow, but they come with that kind of mentality that you're high and mighty and I need you to help me with something. So they come in and they present their business concept or their product or whatever. And then they throw that to the mercy of the panel. And there's one guy on the panel who just irks everybody on the panel, and because he's just so self-righteous and so self-important and could do no wrong. And I always think about that, who am I in the world? And how do I look to people that I interact with every day? I'm not perfect, I know that, but many of us, and I'll speak mostly about myself here, we just have this kind of a born sense of that we, that we are doing the best that we can, and that's good enough. But when I started to take pictures of people on the street, and that doesn't mean homeless or people in challenged situations. That means people I pass on the street, walking down the sidewalk. And there's a certain look or a certain personality that I think would look cool in a black and white photograph with these old cameras that I like to take pictures with. And it always results in a conversation. And then it's cool because I start to learn about people, and I start to see where they came from to as much as a degree as you can in a 5-minute conversation on the sidewalk. And sometimes the facade is really shiny and beautiful, but then they start to tell you where they're going or something that just happened, and they're taking care of that situation as best as they could. And so there's this this veneer, but below the surface there's something else going on. And for me, for most of my life, that's the way I've lived, always pretending that it's all together and everything's okay. And even when things were not so okay, I was pretty good at just kind of just protecting my visage, making sure that what people see is good, is positive. When you try to do things online, you're faced with that. You want to put forth the most positive way that you possibly can, but inside, something that may not be completely right is hiding. And I'm of the opinion that sooner or later it will come to the surface. And I'm that way because in my life, that's exactly what happened. I used to look at people on the street, and again, not just homeless, but people from all walks of life that you pass on the street, in your car as you're driving down the road. And I used to think, just on first appearance, that person is this kind of person, and that person is, I can just imagine what they're like in real life, but you have no idea. And now with this phase of my life where I've gone through a really, really dark and difficult valley, really dark. And I'm emerging from it now gradually and starting to see my way clear. I'm not there yet. Still a long ways to go, but now when I look at people on the street and when I'm out with my camera and I'm taking pictures, I always ask their permission, and I always be cordial and offer them a copy of the print digitally afterwards. But now I see through, but not just see through, but I see through with compassion. Because everybody out there just wants to be heard. They just want to be seen. They want to be respected, and they want to feel like they matter. Let me have a clean heart. Let me have a pure approach when I see people on the street. And that reminds me of, there's a great verse that I love to look back on. And this is in Psalms chapter 51, and it's verse 10. It's really short. It goes like this. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. And what that tells me is that God sees me and he sees you, and he knows about the hidden side. And to give you true joy that's deep and enduring and lasting, he has to be able to see that inner side of you. And you know what? He does hear you, and he does love you, and he does respect you. My gosh, so much that he sent his son Christ to die on a cross just over 2,000 years ago. And he did that because he sees you and he knows you, and he wants to give you joy and hope and peace. Create in me a clean heart. Let me see the world the way I should see them, with compassion and with care. Now, when I go out and take photographs, I carry my camera with me and I walk on the streets of my hometown and I just go for the walk. It's fun, but it's also invigorating. Of course, a walk is always invigorating. But when I do see somebody that I feel compelled to photograph, they see my camera and it's not a surprise. Some people just kind of steer clear of you because they know you're going to take a picture, so that's okay. But once in a while, they'll open up to your getting closer. And when you say the words, you know something, there's something about you that I really love, and I just want to capture your hat, your glasses, you have a great smile, whatever it is. They're more than willing to stand for you and let you take their picture. And when that joy is exchanged, because they see that I see them, a little conversation happens, and then they see that I respect them. And that's something that wouldn't have happened 5 years ago or 2 years ago. it's only now, because only now I have truly experienced what it is like to walk down the street and feel like nobody knows, nobody cares, but somebody does care. And so I want to convey that message to you, and decided for the fun of it, I'll attach a few of my people faces that I've taken photographs of. And if you've enjoyed this video, it would really help me if you would subscribe and like, and maybe leave a little comment about how you view the people that you interact with every day. How do you see them? And tell me about any experiences that you've had where maybe you've had the opportunity to learn something a little bit more. And so maybe you reached in to their life, or maybe they reached into your life and did something for you. For now, thanks for watching. I'm Robert McAfee. I'm an artist and photographer, and that's what I do in my working life. And every now and then I like to come on here and do a little video to encourage you, because I've been encouraged and I've come a long ways from the very deepest place, darkest place. And I'm here to tell you there's a better way to live. There's a better way to be. There's joy to be experienced again. Let's share it with the world that we interact with every day. I'll see you next time.